Hello everyone, welcome to Paolo's Kitchen Wonders. Today we're going to bake a classic. The French they call it pâte à chaud. German call it Windbeutel. The Italians call it beignet or profiterole. Now I think you know what I'm talking about. Apparently, according to some historians back in the Renaissance, Caterina de Medici's chef used to cook that for the first time for her husband, Henry II. What can I say? They're absolutely delicious. Let's get cracking. And here are the ingredients for the dough. 60 grams of butter, pinch of salt, teaspoon of sugar, 2 lemon zest, one for the dough and one for the Sicilian custard, which we will prepare later on. 4 lovely eggs, 200 milligrams of flour, and 250 milliliters of water. To start off with, we will pour the water into a pan, along with the salt, the sugar, the butter, and the lemon zest. The lemon zest is important in order to avoid the eggy taste that sometimes is associated with the profiterole shells. Anyway, we're going to melt the butter now. Once it starts boiling, then we're going to pour in the flour and we're going to start working it. We're going to remove also the lemon zest. It's done its purpose. And what we're going to do is pour in the flour all in one go and remove from the heat. Stir until it becomes a thick paste. You will start seeing also some of the starch coming out of this paste, which is exactly what we want. So at the bottom of the pan you will start seeing a kind of a layer. Can you see at the bottom there's this layer that's forming? That's exactly what we want to achieve. So a couple more minutes. Perfect. Now what we're going to do is pour it into a mixer and add the eggs to it. See you shortly. Right, we've now put the flour mixture into the mixer and we're going to add now one by one the 4 eggs. Obviously one by one is important because we want to make sure that the first egg is first absorbed into the mixture thoroughly before moving on to the next egg. Okay, see you shortly. And this is the consistency you would like to achieve. We're now going to transfer everything into a decoration bag. Right, we've put the mixture on in this decoration bag and we're now going to shape our lovely Windbeutel. Remember the difference between the Windbeutel and the profiteroles is that the Windbeutel are a little bit bigger than the profiteroles. So make sure that when you do that, you leave obviously space between each and every one of those Windbeutels because they will grow now massively in the oven. On this one we're going to make them smaller, so we're going to make it little profiteroles type. Oops. what the profiteroles look like, or the German Windbeutel. These are the bigger versions. Notice how nice and big they are, and they're kind of biscuity now. Exactly, that's what you're looking for. Et voila, perfect, absolutely spot on. Now that we've taken the profiteroles from the oven, let's try and loosen them up first from the actual tray. One thing that I recommend, because they're still warm, chances are that there is still some steam inside. So take a toothpick and just make a little hole. That's all. Because you don't want the profiteroles or the small Windbeutel to deflate again. Again, they shouldn't, because they're nice and crispy outside. These are the smaller versions. These are the actual profiterole size. Notice the difference in size? Okay, what we're going to prepare now is the cream or the filling. I would like to use two different types. Of course, as I mentioned earlier, you can use savory type fillings, such as tuna with mayo and all sorts of other herbs as well. Well, I have a little bit of a sweet tooth, and to that extent I would like to use a typical German version, which is with cream and strawberries, and the Sicilian version, which is typical for what they call the beignet. It is made with vanilla custard, and of course I like the strawberries on it. I'm using 4 egg yolks. I'll be using 34 grams of cornstarch, 100 grams of sugar, and 400 milliliters of milk. I'll also be using our famous lemon zest that I mentioned. The vanilla. You can use the vanilla pots. Of course they are quite expensive, but you can also use the vanilla extract as we're going to do today. Just a little tip for saving some money. Obviously these are very expensive, these vanilla pots, but if you've used the internal bit of the vanilla, don't throw the exterior piece away, because it's still full of aroma and flavors, and if you add it to your sugar pot, then you have a vanilla scented sugar. So there you go, a little bit more savings, if you will, for your pocket. Right, we start with the milk first. So we're gonna put the 400 milliliters of milk into a pan, and also add to that our lemon zest and our vanilla extract. Remember, if you do have the vanilla pots, use those as well if you prefer so. So a couple of drops, there you go, that'll do, gives a nice flavor. Now we're gonna heat it up. Low heat, I recommend low heat, and we don't want to bring it to the boil, but we want, as soon as we start seeing the vapor coming up, then we need to take it off and move with the next step. Now it's time to whip the cream. Just use the normal tub, and no rocket science on that one. I'm gonna whip it up, but just before it starts thickening, I'm gonna put some vanilla sugar that I prepared myself. Remember, with those vanilla pots, absolutely fantastic. And here is my strawberry jam. Now, again, after you let it cook, I also used a little bit of cinnamon in there because I love that spice. And my secret ingredient. Absolutely fantastic. The aromas are perfect. This will be the base layer for our lovely Windbeutel. And here we are going to start now with the filling. First and foremost, we're going to cut. Make sure you use a knife with a saw blade, so you can cut slightly into it gently. Okay. gently cut through. Okay. And voila. Notice? That's why it's called a Windbeutel, because it actually has got a wind pocket in there. Here, my finished product. This is Windbeutel with whipped cream and strawberry and Paolo's strawberry jam, the magic. And voila! And here we go, the final product. Windbeutel, or Italian beignet, made with cream and my magic strawberry and strawberries in there. And that's the same, but with the Sicilian custard. Absolutely fantastic. Also, what does the wife say? I'm so glad they're finally ready.